In this video, we're going to look at the Broncos' use of counter pass in this playoff game against the Bills. Counter pass selling the weak side counter action. Guard going to pull. He's responsible for securing that edge. Back counter action going to chip and head to the flat on counter pass. I'm going to try to focus more on the protection than the routes, but right here they're going to run a 3-level route. It looks like they've got the pylon, the deep bow out, and the back in the flat building their 3 levels. Going to leave this tight end in on the backside. He's responsible for number 4. Number 4 being the safety or corner if they blitz. Then he's going to get this chip, and he's a late check down over the ball, not in a rush. 3 levels on that side before the quarterback would ever get to him. You'll see here, play action, checks it down to the back, gets broken up by that defensive end. Quarterback sees this corner, disrupts that pylon route. He's got his shoulders turned. He's sprinting out. He says, if he's doing that, my high-low is going to be between that bow-out runner coming in behind him and the back in the flat. And if he's running out with his shoulders turned, I'm checking it down. Good play by this defensive end, getting his hands up, knocking it down. Okay, from behind. So one's releasing out into the route. They're going to gap this thing down and back on the front side. Guard pulling. He's got the hardest job. Got to secure this C gap in space. Right now he does have help. Back going to jab step to the front side, and the back is going to work a chip on his outside shoulder before he heads to the flat. If they got a blitz off of this edge, the back would abort this fake and would go straight to that blitzer and get him blocked right now so that they don't have the quarterback getting hit square in his teeth. Tackle going to come down on this 3 technique and then chuck back out. The tight end responsible for the defensive end, and then this tight end again responsible for 4 on this side, 4 being the DB to that side. So you'll see 45 here sets out to the corner just in case he's a blitzer. Nope, okay, I can come back and help. On the inside now, that pulling guard. You don't want to be overly aggressive against a non-aggressive player. That's a good recipe for getting slipped. You're running at him full speed. He's kind of hanging there, waiting for you. He grabs you. He throws you. You're on the ground. This is a good job. He settles here. He takes the air out of it. He doesn't want space between him and the tackle. We're trying to build a wall over here. Settles, comes to balance, is taking the air out of it, and then ready to adjust on this non-aggressive player. Initially, non-aggressive, trying to figure out what exactly is going on as he feels that guard pull to him. Good job here by the defensive end. This is good by the tackle, trying to get that guy covered up and just gets his hands up in that passing lane. Next rep now. This is not counter pass. This is counter naked. And so the 1 rep I'm sneaking in here just because it's a good rep. They're going to pull this fullback. They're going to sell as if it's counter, and the quarterback going to boot out here to this flat. You'll see they release the tight end down, vertical, back corner. They're going to sell down with the jumbo tackle, and then he's coming out to the flat. And like all nakeds, they've got the naked over coming from the backside. Everybody loves the big man touchdown. They get the corner, sees the release. He ladders up to get to his outside shoulder. Safety over the top of it. 58 here takes the bait, sees the puller, takes the bait as if it is counter. Nobody there, able to get that giant jumbo tight end on the ground. 73, big man in the end zone. Everybody's happy when the big guys score. Okay, back to counter pass. This is the same play as the first rep of the game. They're just flipping it over. So now they're pulling the left guard. He's responsible for the right side defensive end. Ingram has the bow out. They're running the deep high angle sail from that receiver spot, back, chip, and to the flat in that 3 level. I'm going to skip ahead. It's just a check down to the back. We'll take a look here from behind. So we know Ingram is leaving, 74. Now the puller responsible for the Bosa brother on this side. They're back. They're down. They're down into the B gap. They're going to chuck down, and then they can work back out late in the down. We'll see why that's important later on. But chucking down, building this wall, tight end responsible for the end. This overhang tight end or the wing tight end responsible for number 4 corner or safety. You'll see he gets a great chip. Let's just start with him. Great chip right here on his way out and trying to redirect back outside. Right into his rib cage right there. Hit on the rise and then go ahead and try to get into your route. This end not making a play on the quarterback. That's the most important thing because he's dead last in the progression. Now take a look. Right tackle. You'll see jabs out with that right arm. He's responsible for that inside gap. And as he's stepping down, he's saying, hey, you know what? There's nobody in this inside gap. I've got a premier pass rusher just outside of me. I'm just going to put a little hand on him, make him deal with one extra body here, slow him down just a little bit for my buddy showing up. Sometimes that can throw you off a little bit as the puller. You're used to getting that clean run at that guy. Is this the right decision or not? I don't know. You'd have to ask the Broncos. You'd have to ask this guy, what does he prefer? What are they coaching? I don't know the answer to that. But right here, you can see it throws him off just a little bit, ends up having to redirect. This is an awesome job, though, with the 360 adjustment and gets himself back into a position to actually get this thing blocked. You'd love to see this back get a chip on this shoulder here. With as much traffic as they're dealing with that extra jab by the tackle, I understand how he's not able to get it done. But a good rep of the protection right there, ultimately 0 yard to 1 yard gain, though. Okay, later in the game now, we'll go straight to behind. Counter pass. Again now, the right tackle, he's got nobody in that B gap. You can see he's feeling out with that right hand, but there's just so much space between them, and he's got a gap down in case anything's looping over the top. Doesn't get any friction on Bosa. 74 coming to get him picked up. Tough duty, blocking a premier pass rusher in space. What makes this so much easier is this back giving body presence on this side and then getting a chip. In my opinion, right here, back has absolutely got to chip this guy. You're not trying to hurt anybody, but you wanted to feel a little bit of pain. Got to hit the Bosa brother right there in the rib cage on your way out into your route. On the backside, tight end again, defensive end. Tackle stepping down to that gap and then can hinge back out to help once the center has secured the guy in this newly created A gap right here, the initial B gap, newly created A gap. Center gets that guy pushed across his face, the tackle's face. Tackle stays on him. Tight end staying on the end. You'll see 45. He's setting for the corner. If they're getting man coverage right here, that's why he's getting kind of pressure rushed in. Has to decide, is this really a blitz or not? Makes the decision, says, okay, not really a blitz. I'm getting out of here. Great job by Bo Nix getting out of the pocket. Too much pressure from Bosa on his right side. Without that chip, that's tough duty for that pulling guard. Gets out of the pocket and does a great job. This is an unbelievable catch here on the sideline. Good job converting to get the first down. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, Broncos down by 4, and this is their first down after crossing the 50. So they converted a third down, got this first down to get him across the 50. This is exactly where Sean Payton loves to take shots. I was the Atlanta Falcons for 7 years. I could be wrong, but I believe Sean Payton was the play caller for the Saints for that entire time period. Our defensive coaches had a very, very good idea of when they were going to try to push the ball down the field. Now, Sean Payton, not the only one who does this. A lot of coaches will take their shots on a first down past the 50, but the Broncos kind of playing into the stereotype right here. And I say we had a good idea of when they were going to do it. We had a hard time still stopping it. So they motion the receiver across. They're running double deep cross right here. And usually this is a play that you only keep on against man. So I'm guessing either they got, the quarterback either got confused and kept it on, or maybe they're calling it and running it. I don't know. That they leave it on here makes me think that maybe they just said, hey, we're going to call it and we're going to run it. We're going to see what happens. But as you'll see these routes, as it plays out, nobody is open. And they are getting man on this guy. And this nickel who bumped into the box, another clue that maybe it's zone, the nickel not coming to passing strength. Another clue that maybe it's zone. He's going to have to match the back right here, but otherwise they're getting quarter, half. They got the zone droppers here from the other two linebacker spots. This is well covered, and we've got a problem on the front side. Nix has to escape the pocket, wisely throws it away. Well, what's the problem here on the front side? And I'm going to try to go quick because we got one more rep of this, but right here, they got the jumbo in, and so they're trying to bait you into thinking, oh, they're going to run the ball because they got into jumbo set right here. All right, but they're also down by 4, and there's only 2 minutes to go, so odds are it's not a run, right, because now the clock's going to be ticking. I don't think that's exactly what they want to do, but sometimes you're a slave to the way that you've called the play and practiced the play. Not necessarily the case here, as we'll see in a second. But the whole point of me just rambling on, we've got the jumbo tight end in right here, and you think, hey, it's really easy. We just throw a tackle in to play that spot, or a 6 offensive lineman. Well, we've just been talking. That guy has the defensive end, and all of a sudden, the guy who's not used to playing that spot goes in there and he thinks he's got more help than he does. This guy responsible for number 4 and then the chip, and all of a sudden they're turning one of the best pass rushers in the league loose into their own backfield. So it's fun to play jumbo. It's fun to say, hey, we just bring in the 6 offensive linemen, but that's a whole nother position that guy has to know and understand. That can make things very difficult when you put guys in spots that they're not used to playing. Sometimes you end up with problems. All right, so Nix out of the pocket, smart, throws it away, live to play another down. Into overtime now. The Broncos have made that controversial interception. They find themselves right back here on that 38-yard line. This looks very familiar to what we just saw. Now, the difference is this is 2nd and 12. 2nd and 12, not necessarily a shot situation, but the Broncos also know that the Bills are going to heat them up. They are either in field goal range or right on the cusp of it, and if they hit a field goal, this game is over. The Bills' only chance is to knock them back. So here comes the blitz. They're going to motion the receiver across, trying to determine man or zone, as I think. They know depth, eyes, and leverage of everybody. This is clearly man. This is clearly a blitz. I know I just said 7 bumping back into the box, a potential zone indicator, but everything says man. 7 going to get back up on the line, blitz off the edge, 58 coming off this edge. You can see how these routes shake out against man. Very hard to run with a guy across the field, down the field, when it's just you versus him and you've got no help. 27 draws the DPI right there. Whether you agree with that or not, doesn't really matter. It got called, right? So let's start here on the left side. And a lot of the reps that we've watched up to this point all kind of build to right now. So this B gap is open, and he feels this guy getting on the line of scrimmage outside to blitz, and he knows if that guy's going to blitz off the edge, there's a good chance this guy is going to work across my face. So he wisely slows it down, puts his eyes outside, waiting to see if this guy wants to come in here, and he'll take him. Well, that guy stays outside, and he says, okay, that's not my job. My job is this B gap. I'm just going to jab my hand at him, slow him down, and then handle my responsibility. Guard pulling says, hey, thanks for slowing him down just a little bit. I'll go and get him. Good job getting this guy engaged. Again, you can see they've got the air taken out of it, gets him engaged, going to give his quarterback plenty of time. Let's take a look at the back now. The back has a blitzer coming off the edge. We said if we've got a blitzer, we have to abort our fake. There's no point in a run fake right now. We have to keep this guy as far away from the quarterback as humanly possible. He doesn't run his fake. He goes straight to him right now. Ultimately a productive rep for 12. Okay, now let's work across the board. Guard comes down into this A-gap. Center working back. He's got this defensive tackle with the tackle stepping down to him, replacing that open area that the guard's leaving. Tight end has the defensive end, and 45 responsible for number 4. Well, he's got this blitzer off the edge, so he's going to have to take that guy. Man coverage now, 24 here on this tight end, 39 on this tight end. And you'll watch 24. He's going to hesitate just a little bit. Once he knows this guy is pass blocking, then he can add into this zero blitz, this pass rush on the blitz here. But 69, the right tackle right here. Great job. Steps down. He knows the center's coming. Center takes that block over, and he knows, all right, we've got a blitz coming off the edge. That means there's 3 guys over there, and if we want to stop that, we're going to need all 3 of us. So he chucks back out to get this end blocked, who's going to be pinching into him. He's probably yelling at the tight end, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Gets the tight end to come off to that safety, 24, who's adding into the pressure, and 45 steps down and is able to hinge back out to that Will coming off the line, the edge of the line of scrimmage right there. Extremely well done on the front side. A little bit edgy, right? They've got a little bit of push up the field, but this ball is thrown 40 yards downfield. They've given their quarterback plenty of time to get that ball in the air. Good job there. Final rep of counter pass we're going to look at.